What is up, Juventus fans? Welcome back to the channel. We've got some news for you today. What are we talking about? Of course, we're talking about the biggest story that kind of dropped a little bit last night, talking about McKennie. Is he for sale this Mercado? We've got the Rugani situation, and then we got Pjanic is still waiting. He's still waiting. He's always a bride, never, or always a bridesmaid, never a bride. We'll see what happens. Stick with us, and we will fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back. You're in the Bianconeri zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today is August 19, 2021. It is a Thursday, and we've got your latest rundown of all things Juventus. First off, before we do anything, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and also hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our videos. But also, tonight we are having the live with my guy, Juve, Giuseppe Bognani, and he will be coming and joining me, the two guy, I guess we can call it the double bald guy podcast or whatever you want to talk about it. Joining us for a live, we'll be chatting all things Juventus, the latest stuff, previewing what we have for the upcoming season. But also just make sure you tune into that and make sure you can get some of your questions in and questions heard as well. So that'll be tonight. It'll be at 11 p.m. Juve time. Anyway, let's just jump into it and what news we have for you today. And the first news that we have is McKennie, of course, is Weston McKennie. Actually, not of course, this is news. I'm talking about it like it's Locatelli. Anyway, what we have for you is DiMarzio's reporting saying Juventus are evaluating the many offers received for Weston McKennie. He is not considered unsellable, which is, I don't know. It's the idea of selling McKennie right now. I would rather not. I understand Juventus needs money, but to me, he's not a player you'd sell. Let's jump into it. The second part of it is Mirko Di Natale is saying that McKennie is very happy at Juventus. And as of today, there are no contacts with other clubs for possible transfer, which is music to my ears. Here's the reason that I say this, is I'm an American. I am from America. You all know that if you've been on the channel. If you haven't, you know now. I'm an American. It means a lot having an American player playing for Juventus, playing for the club that I care about so much. But outside of that also, there's a lot of different things that McKennie brings to the club. He's a bulldog when it comes to offensively, continually to chase down balls, similar to Chiesa. It's what we call hustle, green tail, whatever you want to call it. I call it hustle here in America. But he brings that to the table for the club. And I don't want to lose that, especially he's really starting to show off or show out a little bit. If you looked at the CONCACAF for the America versus Mexico, he scored one of those goals in the most, actually scored the winning, or I guess it's not winning, I guess it was a tying goal because they ended up tying afterward, but it put him ahead anyway, and then they ended up winning that on a penalty afterward by Pulisic. Doesn't matter. What I'm really talking about, though, is what he brings to the table when it comes to that. He's definitely I think he's a great offensive-minded midfielder, definitely more than some of the other ones that we have. As well as, here's the other issue. I want to say this as thoughtfully as possible, but if you've been around for the last 2 years, you understand that like social justice or whatever have you, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to call it, social justice, social issues are important to the club, and they're important to Juventus. Juventus have used McKennie as a model for a lot of their product. They've been using him for a lot of promotional material because not only they care about America, but they also care about Americans, buying their stuff, watching their stuff, whatever have you. But they also care about just in general. There's been a lot of issues in the past with racism in Italy. We had the whole situation with Moise Kean and whatever going on. All that stuff. Mario Balotelli suffers from it a lot. It's good to have a face like McKennie who is down to earth, who's well spoken, and I think that's important for the club going forward. Regardless of what your views or opinions on that, I think it is good to have Weston McKennie stay with the club. Hopefully they won't sell him, I understand, no matter how much you need money. Anyway, next topic of the day, let's move on. We're talking about Pjanic. Of course, we're talking about Pjanic. He's back from the dead. He's still waiting for Juventus. Mundo Deportivo is saying that Roma are keeping an eye on Miralem Pjanic. The player, however, is still waiting for Juventus. He wants Juventus. We've heard rumors of potentially Inter going after him. Now Roma. We'll see. Honestly, again, what more can I really say about him right now? But as we know, when it comes to the player, something would have to happen for Juventus, moving a player, Aaron Ramsey, whatever have you, before Miralem Pjanic were to come in. If you were to get rid of Weston McKennie and bring Miralem Pjanic, I might full-scale rage. That's the situation as it stands, honestly, with me. One of the other things that I do want to say about this, though, is kind of odd. I don't know if you all saw, but on the this is just a personal thing. I saw, he was cheering on Locatelli when he signed yesterday, whatever. And the only thing I saw about that was like the mad online face where like you're trying to have the happy face, but behind it you're like angry and raging inside. That's what I felt like Maryland was doing. You let me know what your thoughts on that are. And then we got Rugani. And this thing is telling me the opposite of what I have been doing. They're saying what I should be doing. Rugani's agent was speaking with TMW Radio, saying, "We are at a club that has a lot of respect for the player who has never been put on the market. I don't think it's right to talk about other clubs." And they're basically just saying to show some respect for Rugani at Juventus. Don't fully agree. Rugani is to me is the peak player that I don't want to see on the field for Juventus this upcoming season. Why do I feel that way? Well, in general, I don't need Rugani out there giving up goal after goal after goal like we saw at the end of the 2019 season. I don't need it. Personally, if you're a Rugani guy, let me know. See if there's some kind of argument that you can really have for Rugani in the comment section down below. Then we've got potential replacements for Rugani if he should leave, and that is Tutto Sport saying that should Rugani leave to join Napoli, the two names to replace him are Milinkovic at Fiorentina, and as well as Maksimovic, who's a free agent currently. We know a lot of guys are high on Milinkovic, the player. I would like to see him come to Juventus. I'd like to see that happen. I think a lot of the rumors lately, though, have been that he seems apparent to sign an extension with Fiorentina. What that means, we'll see going forward, but that's how it stands currently. Let me know what your thoughts on that. Do you think that you would like to see Milinkovic, or would you like to see Maksimovic at Juventus going forward? Anyway. And then, in the last little bit of news that we really have for you today, and that is their news story about Donnarumma, Gigio Donnarumma. Corriere dello Sport was reporting, they had, some interview with him saying, it's true, I had a trial with Juventus when I was younger, at Vinovo, but I didn't feel like leaving home my parents. It was too early at that time. So Donnarumma was close to becoming a Juventus player back then when he was a young lad, if you will, which it's frustrating for me. If you know me, I'm a big Donnarumma guy. Especially I wasn't as high on him when I was high on him as a player at Milan, but at the same time I have grown so fond of Donnarumma and wanted to see him, and I still want to see him at Juventus wearing the black and white, wearing Juventus colors. We'll see if it ever happens. I'm hopeful. Right now, he is at the enemy. He is at PSG, the place where I'm least happy. I kind of wish I wish they would have asked him some questions about this Mercado or this transfer from, free agency from Milan to PSG. I would like to hear him kind of talk about Juventus, any kind of his feelings or whatever. I know he's not going to say it right now because what he's going to say is what every player is going to say, which is, I wanted PSG. PSG is where I wanted to go. But I personally believe that he wanted to go to Juventus. Why do you think he drug out for so long? It wasn't just clearly he was going to PSG. I think Juventus was definitely the option that he wanted to have. I could be wrong. It's not the first time. Wrong a lot. But anyway, that's what I personally believe overall when I think about Donnarumma and the way the Mercado went this year. Anyway, that's all the real news I have for you today. But again, check back with us in a couple hours. I'm going to be going live with our guy, Giuseppe Bognani, Just Juve, and we'll be talking all your favorite topics when it comes to Juventus, whatever have you. I have a few things planned out. I want to ask him, I want to get his feelings on it. But I also want to ask him about overall, what his feelings are for the upcoming season, Locatelli, whatever have you. And I want to get your all's chat in there as well, if we can. I understand. Luckily, we're still a smaller channel, so hopefully you can have more of an opportunity to get some of your questions answered than maybe you would normally. But anyway, Giuseppe's a great guy, and as you know, he will always try to, help anybody, speak with anyone. I'm just thankful that he's willing to hang out with us for a little bit tonight. So make sure you check back in 11 p.m. Juve time to watch us, hang out and just enjoy Juventus football. Also, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon to stay notified. Follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone on Twitter and Instagram. Also follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter, and also follow our boy Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.